radio shop. So we're going to be continuing with the Zenith H725, I believe it's called. And I actually have two of them to work on. You can see the cabinets here for the two of them. And here is the chassis for one. And over here is the chassis for the other. Now I've been making some observations here, and I thought I was just about to test all the tubes, and I started making some interesting observations. So, you know, these radios look quite identical. I mean, you're just seeing the cabinet, but if they were completely assembled, they're really extremely similar. I mean, the handle here is a little different. You know, this could be a replacement or something. This might be the original. The fixtures look a little different. Boy. Beyond that, one of them, let's see, this one here, says, oh, let me get the right light here. Okay, FM. What does that say? FM 100. Let's take a closer look here. See this too. Well, I think it says FM 100. Below it says standard broadcast. FM 100. Now, what does that say? This is a fairly important observation here. Even if I'm not doing a good job at making it. Okay, too many things to hold on to here at the same time. It is on FM, there we are, FM, AFC, and standard broadcast. Now, that's interesting. This radio chassis, oh, it's got a couple lines marked on it here. Favorite stations, I guess. So, this radio, whoops, goes with this cabinet, or it goes with this chassis, rather. And the other goes with the other, of course. So here's the interesting observation. I was getting ready to test the tubes, and a significant layout difference between the two radios. At a glance, you don't see it, but like lots of things, you spend a little more time looking at things, you start seeing stuff. So for instance, here you see two tubes and one. We'll go look at the other radio. Whoops. Turn the radio over. There we go. So look at this one. 1, 2, and there's nothing there. There's only these two and this guy. And over here you see. Oh, maybe that's the answer. These two and this guy's not in the same place. So okay. Here we are. You're seeing me learn right on the spot. Isn't that exciting? Now, here's something else that's definitely different. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 IF cans. In this radio, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So what they've done here is, this one, some of these IF cans are for the AM side, and the others are for the FM side. I'm not sure which is which just yet. Oh, easy to see. It's written right on it there. 10.7. 10.7. 10.7. 455, 455, 455. 10.7. So it's 10.7 just right along the back. And the two 455s here. So now we look at this radio. Oh, very good. I'm marked here too. Good. So here we see 10.7, and there's one set of coils here, two sets of coils here. 10.7 455, 10.7 455, and this one 10.7 455. Well, that's not quite the same lineup as over here, is it? Because 10.7, 10.7, 10.7, 10.7, 455. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. Okay, maybe it is the same. Sure, 4 and 3. It's got to be the same number. So I think basically the circuitry is extremely similar, especially now that I see this tube situation, which it's really the whole reason for making this video. It turns out not to even be true. Here's another interesting thing about radios. Here's the speaker, of course. Right. And that's a bit of a curious knob to see on the front of a speaker. Look around the back. My God, there's a potentiometer on there. Yeah, so as it turns out, this is the tone control. Yeah, interesting. Who'd have thought of that? Some smart designer, I think, is the one who came up with that idea. You just hear the engineers going, oh man, now we got to put a bracket in, we got to put a thing in, we got to put a string in. But so we see, in fact, when you look at these radios, the speaker this is a speaker grill right here. The speaker's right behind it, and the pointer's moving around here, which I think in my very first video you can see that. Well, a few other interesting observations here on the antenna. Okay, on this one, which I think is an older radio because they've separated these, so I think this is an older version of it. So you see the AM coil, the FM. That's funny. It's connected here. FM connection here, twisted wire, and AM connection for an external antenna. That's pretty straightforward. Some little wire down here. What's that? Okay, so if you see I'll get more light on that. Right down here, this clamp that you think might just be holding the power wire, which it is holding the power wire. That clamp's connected to a wire, and the wire no doubt has a spade on it, and that's the internal FM antenna, which actually relies on the power cord. It's a pretty common trick. I didn't realize it was so old a trick. Even the most modern FM radios you plug in the wall have that. Small radios have that kind of antenna. Now, if you look at this antenna, things are a little different. First, it looks a little meatier, a little beefier to me. I see this tube here, and the windings are a little different. They're not just glued to the back here. It actually stood on its own form. So here we see this strange attachment here, which the radio was sitting on. There's a clip lead. Now this was when I took the radio out, it was just laying in the cabinet like this. So, and I'm not sure why it's there. Once again, there's that metal clip there, and there's a wire with a spade on it here that you could attach to the FM antenna, which is here. So not dramatically different, but a little different. And I guess you would expect improvements to come along as time went by. I guess they built these for a while. I think there's 3 or 4 versions of them actually. Now I've got some circuit information, and this information is this radio with the combined IF cans. I haven't got any information on this radio, but I imagine they probably got enough on that other circuit diagram. Other oddball things. Maybe somebody'd like to comment on why they think this has been done. This is a big mystery to me. Okay, so pull my chair over. I'm sorry about all the noise my camera makes when I'm moving it around. I'm not aware of it while I'm doing it, of course, but I know when you listen, you hear a lot of shuffling, so I apologize for all that noise. Now here's the curious thing. Right here, this piece of wire and this piece of wire, which are obviously the same piece of wire that's been cut. Well, what's going on there? There's also a piece of wire soldered to the chassis here sticking up, a fairly stiff piece. Not sure what that is. But let's get back to these. So, look, the wires have been bent back. Bending them back is a way you communicate to someone else that something is not to be connected, or you're trying to ensure that things don't get reconnected for some reason. So why would that be? What is that wire? Okay, so it goes to the switch. Look, there's another wire. That other wire also going to ground, and look, there's another piece sticking up. Well, this mystery has just deepened. I didn't see this wire earlier. I just saw this. So, okay, let's go a little further. Now, over here is the selenium rectifier, and here the diode has been mounted across it. I'm pretty sure that's a diode. And so what's happened is somebody's decided that this just isn't doing proper duty anymore, and these don't last forever. They certainly are all suspect. And these guys get quite hot too, so just put a diode across it. Now I normally would separate that connection away there. The other radio, tip this one up. Okay, so a little bit of craziness going on in my house here. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Okay, so here's the same situation. This one appears to be in rougher shape, but that little lead's been cut back there. See? And here it is here, floating up here now, and there's the diode back in there. So, two different ways of doing the repair. Two different people did it. And the diode is going to appear almost like a short circuit across this. So this guy's not going to see any duty. So this is probably quite a satisfactory way of doing it, but I normally do separate. One new capacitor here. And, you know, I looked it over. I didn't see anything else that was jumping out at me, but the longer you look at these things, the more you see. Yeah, this capacitor here has been changed on the other one. Yeah, if we jump over here and take a look. There's the replacement for it. Yeah, there's been more capacitors changed. One down here. I put this in to get rid of the power supply on. So this guy is still running on his main capacitor. He's probably humming pretty bad too. Why would they do this? Why? Well, let's look at the other one. Good thinking. See, no such wire. Looking right in here. I do see a resistor across it. There's the wire to ground. There's that metal post sticking up, so that's some kind of a connection point that's maybe been, I don't know, welded to the chassis. I have no idea. But very good. So that's the quick showing. What I'm going to be doing is using my tube tester. I'm going to test all the tubes because I've already done a little preliminary work on the one chassis and discovered that the radio is not working well at all. It's a very sick puppy, and I could not pass any signals through the IF at all. So I suspect it's got a bad a bad tube in it, and I really should test all these tubes, so I'm going to do them together. That's why both radios are out right now. Here. I'm going to do them together. This should be the most efficient way of testing all these tubes. Let's see if I can't find a bad one. So, from my shop, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video after I have the tubes tested. Bye.